Okay, I am officially calling it. Things in America don't make any sense. Because the more and more I learn about the processes here, the more I realize that we don't know what we're doing back in the States. But look, hey, maybe it's me, maybe I'm tripping. I gotta get on this train. So I met this guy the other day, and he was telling me how he was going to school to be a cop. And he's a young guy. And so when I heard how he was going to school to be a cop, I was like, oh, how is that? I mean, y'all know how I get down. I will talk to anybody. But no, he was cool. Young guy, going to school to be a cop. And I was just like, okay, so what is it like? How long does it take? Blah, 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 blah. I had like a ton of questions. And he just started laying it out for me. They're like, first of all, you have to be at least 18. You also have to have at least a high school diploma. And you have to do a ton of studies. We're talking ethics, law, communications, and a bunch more. And the whole time I'm just like, I don't think it's that deep in the States. But that's not what really shocked me about the whole thing. What really shocked me about the whole thing was when I asked how long it's gonna take, he said 3 years. 3 years. And now, Pimpin', if you don't know why that was like shocking to me, Pimpin', do you know how long it will take you to be a police officer in the state? Yeah, you just have to be 18, you don't need a high school diploma, and Pimpin', your training is like 3 months. Now, if I'm keeping it 1,000 with y'all, I did not know this. I literally looked this up while the guy was when he told me 3 years, I was like, I wonder let me check and see how long it takes. Because he asked, hey, how long does it take in the States? So I looked it up. And it was like 3 months. And this is in a country that has a huge violence issue and gun violence issue. 3 months of training. It is extremely safe here, but they have to do 3 years of training. So I know that was a good cappuccino. But hold on, I almost forgot Pimpin'. Y'all know I got y'all. Hold on, pimp. Hold on. I get down that cookie. Go ahead. But y'all see what I'm saying, right? Like, I'm like freaking like blown away by how, like 3 months? Like seriously, man, no wonder we got so many issues when it comes to like police brutality and all this other stuff. And what's even crazier about the whole thing is that it doesn't even make any sense. Like when you really think about it, why wouldn't we want our police officers trained thoroughly? Like, why wouldn't you want that? Especially when you consider everything that's been happening like over the past 30 years. All of this stuff that's been happening over the 30 years is probably because our officers are just not trained that well. And so while these things are happening, it's not only costing a lot of money, but it's costing a bunch of people's lives, as well as it's really bad for the communities. Because look, I'm gonna be honest, after being here for 4 years, I haven't seen not one person. And now look, I am not all over the place and I don't hug the block in Amsterdam every day. By the way, we are in Amsterdam. Look how nice that is, God. But yeah, even in Amsterdam, I ain't never seen just like a bunch of people just hating on the police or like scared of the police or anything like that. They're welcome, they're part of the community, it seems like, especially in Harlem too. Like everybody know the cops. Like, you see the same cops like every day. Meanwhile, in the States, people are afraid of the police. And now that I know what I know, which is like mind blowing to me, I can't believe I never knew this. But now that I know, it makes so much sense why we have all these issues. Like it makes a lot of sense. Now I do want to state that I'm not saying America's that dangerous. It's not that bad, but the violence is like, it's up there over there. Like that's just a fact. And I Pimpin', listen, I don't care what nobody say. I am Team Blue, even though I've had really bad encounters with the Popo in the past. If you look right there, you see that? A cop gave me that. I am still Team Blue. I mean, just for the simple fact that they have hard jobs and the intentions of the job are good. The point that I'm trying to make is simply that anybody who supports the police should want our police safe. Why on earth, how on earth is 3 to 6 months worth of training okay to then put them on a dangerous job, put their life on the line? Like, how is this okay? As a matter of fact, I was looking up the way other countries handle their training for police officers, and it's very similar to the Netherlands. It is a process. It is actual training, not no 3 to 6 months. And one of my goals, besides getting better with my Dutch, is actually getting my license here. Because you see, my American license doesn't transfer here because a job didn't move me here. So all the people that I met whose jobs moved them here, their licenses are okay too as well. They just bring it in, boom, and you get the Netherlands license. And since I'm a weirdo and I'm a special case, we moved here without jobs, so I gotta go through the whole process just like everybody else. So now with that, I have been looking into it a lot more. I've been talking to people about it as well, just get as much information that I can about basically the whole process of getting my license. But I was recently talking to this girl at a cafe, and she was telling me how she just passed the driving portion of the test. Now she has to do the theory. And the reason I say that is because that's how she said it. She made it sound like she's going to war. And since she's so fresh, I was just asking her a bunch of questions. And pimping, it can take, I don't know if y'all understand this, but it could take months just to get your license here. Like, pimping, you gotta spend a certain amount of hours on a road with your teacher, as well as driving all these certain situations and all this stuff. It's like intense, man, and they take it very seriously. And a part of me already knew this, it's just never registered like in my head. But when I was dating a girl in Atlanta, she's from Germany, and when I told her about how we got our licenses there, I remember her, like, she blew up. She was like, what? That's it? You might as well just let your dog drive. That sounds like anybody can get their license. And you know what? She was right. Because, man, the process for getting your license in the States, it's cake. You can get your license in the States for like 20 bucks in one day. And I don't even mean a whole day. I mean, literally, no training or anything. You just prove that you know how to drive, that you know the basic laws, and you could do it in about an hour. Now, that wait time, though, is a bit ridiculous, but for the most part, it is super simple. Like, they will give anybody a driver's license. And out of all the things, you'd think driving would be taken a little bit more seriously, especially in America, where you kind of need a car. Like, you need a car for everything. And this is legit, too. Unless you live in, like, a Chicago downtown or in New York, yeah, pretty much you kind of need a car. Public transportation is on the come up, but it is slow. Like, it is. Yeah, I would not be surprised if a lot of these projects, just in LA, for example, if a lot of these public transportation projects don't finish until my kid is in college. Like, I wouldn't even be shocked. But pimping, in my opinion, the way they do it here makes so much sense, even though most people don't drive here. Like, that's what blows my mind. It is not, like, it's not a necessity here to drive, but they still take driving and getting your license very seriously. And for me, like with the whole becoming a police officer thing, like that whole situation, I'm not understanding, like, why we don't take these things serious when they should be taken seriously. Like, you're sitting behind the wheel, 2-ton vehicle that could legit kill somebody, right? But yet you can spend 20 bucks and get your license in an hour? Like, I don't understand it. I really don't get it. Like, it almost feels like we're doing everything that needs to be done thoroughly. We're doing all of it, like, we're half-assing all of it. You know what? This is why in the States, right? You can go to a place like Georgia and people all over will be like, oh, people in Georgia can't drive. You go to New York, people in New York can't drive. You go to Mississippi, Florida, people in Mississippi and Florida can't drive. Pretty much, no matter where you go, someone will always comment on how the people there cannot drive. When you think about it, it makes a lot of sense, because all they're saying is Americans can't drive. That's pretty much all they're saying, because you're getting this comment everywhere. In my personal opinion, I think we're doing it wrong. I think our standards are just so low for things that are so serious. And seriously, when you think about it, it's almost a joke. Like, for real, it's because it's just not. I mean, our standards are just that low when it comes to these things. For things that could kill somebody, you know, like seriously hurt somebody or kill somebody. Like, what is going, side note, hold on. Little car, man. But that's not the one, though. I already know the one I'm getting. I saw it the last time. Oh, what is this guy doing? So ever since I found out that Amsterdam's going on 750 years, I've been trying to learn a little bit more about the history and why things are the way they are, especially the things that I'm always pointing out in my video. And a quick side note, some of that I recently learned was why these houses in Amsterdam especially are so thin. And pimping, the reason that is had to do with taxes. Because basically in the 17th century, the wider your house was, the more taxes you paying. So instead of settling for the high taxes, they were just like, you know what? We're just gonna build it up, super thin and up. Even though those are not houses, those are actually buildings, but you do see a lot of narrow houses. You know what, the more and more I'm learning about these processes of things, the more I'm starting to see that there's so much more we could be doing, or a lot we could be doing better, because almost every process has some kind of like seriousness and training or something. It's always something. And now, to be honest, I could put a lot on this list. I mean, from the way we buy our houses, to the way we do our taxes, all the way from the way we do healthcare. I mean, we can go on and on, but I think the biggest one for me is how they handle purchasing a firearm here versus the way they do it in the States. And remember now, the States has an issue with gun violence, but the process of getting a firearm and owning a firearm it's night and day, and it is way easier in the States than it is here, which is legit scary considering, again, gun violence is an issue in the States, but yet they make it as easy as going into a Walmart and buying some Skittles. Versus here, you can own a firearm, but one, it's not a right. Two, it is extremely strict, and the process is extremely long, and you cannot pop up and use a gun for self-defense. And if you need self-defense, you got to use them hands. And man, in my opinion, this makes so much sense. Again, it is a responsibility to own a weapon. And in the States, again, I told you guys, I mentioned in the video before how I was in Chicago in Chinatown, and a guy was hopping in the car with a stick on. Nice guy, waving and everything, but he had a stick on. Here though, pimpin', let me just read you a couple of things that you must do. You need to be a member of a certified shooting club at least for a year. And you gotta attend all the meetings. It's like 18 yearly. You also have to pass a background check, a criminal one, as well as a psychological one. And you also have to provide a valid reason. And again, self-defense can't be one of them. And there's a lot more, and this whole process could take up to 12 to 18 months. So pimpin', if you think you just about to walk up in action and pull one off the shelf, nah, pimp. They don't even have them at Action. You know what, that joke would have actually been better if y'all knew what Action was. Action is like the Walmart here. So that's why I said Action. Walmart, you can do that. In the States, you can do that in Walmart. But not over here. You can't go nowhere and just pull something off the shelf. And then on top of that, let's just say you had everything in order, you waited your 12 to 18 months, and you got your license. Well, pimpin', now you gotta renew that license every year. You gotta pass inspections every year. And there could even be surprise inspections. And now this may sound a bit extreme for people, but pimp, when you think about it, you're like, this actually makes a lot of sense. See, look, those guys agree too. They're like, yep, that makes a lot of sense. Meanwhile, in the States and in America, people are throwing fits just for background checks. The United States have made owning a gun like a part of their culture, a part of American culture, which is extremely sad because everyone sees what that's causing. Oh snap, look at that, they finished that construction finally, look at that. Man, I don't know if y'all can see that, but now you can go down these stairs. This was under construction forever. Wow, they finally finished it. It looks freaking good too. And you know, the more and more I learn about things here and processes here, the more and more I'm starting to see that all these wounds that we have in the States, they're all self-inflicted, all of them. Which is a bit sad, but I think the worst part about it all is that people just don't know what to do about it. Like, everybody's so stuck in their ways, especially in the States, that no one has solutions for this stuff. And it's almost like it's designed for us not to want to thrive and do better because our standards are so freaking low. For example, if we just up the requirements for getting our license, how many people pimping, there will be a civil war. Some people will go crazy. But I think we can do better. Like, that's the thing. We can do so much better if we knew better. Which is why you guys should go ahead and watch this video right over here of how much I think we can do. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Always had a way to make it work and find another route. Always had a way to make it work and find another route.